Hello everyone and welcome back to Terra Raid Counters. This is actually a re-record of the HISUIAN TYPHLOSION counter guide because I accidentally deleted the previous one after finishing editing it. Hopefully at least this time I can run through things a little bit faster, a little more concisely, and HISUIAN TYPHLOSION, my one from Legends Arceus. Not going to be too scary. This is not the full moveset of what I think it's going to be. More likely, because this thing does actually get access to Calm Mind, it's probably going to be using that just like HISUIAN Decidueye did. Its hidden ability is actually Frisk, which is completely irrelevant. It doesn't actually help it in any way, but very likely, based on the previous Typhlosion, where it had Shadow Ball, Eruption, Play Rough, and Earthquake, I think we can expect something similar to that, maybe. However, Infernal Parade is a guarantee for the moveset. It is a ghost type naturally, so it will receive same attack bonus on that normally. And Terrifire Eruption is kind of absurd, especially with how much HP this thing has. It's going to be insane. As for the other moves, I'm expecting, of course, Calm Mind, as it does get that. Potentially Sunny Day as a means of getting Solar Beam access in the first turn. Reason for this, all three of the types that Fire is weak to, all of those are weak to Grass. And the last move could be any number of things. Extrasensory is one potential one, but there's really not too many other main special attacks that it gets that could be potentially threatening. The biggest other one would be possibly Focus Blast, but the big one to worry about is the Solar Beam. But before we get into the counters, please do not forget to leave a like, subscribe for more. We have a shiny giveaway going on in a few weeks, and one of you lucky viewers will be able to walk home with this shiny Rayquaza among the 2 boxes of other shinies that is continuously growing day by day from our Living Shiny Deck collection, as well as many shinies from Pokemon Go, which I'm bringing in here to give you guys. But now, as for counters, let's go. Azumarill, the good old standby, nothing too special. Belly Drum, Liquidation, Aqua Jet, Shell Bell, Adamant, huge power. It's absurd. You put this thing under Rain, it's doing absurd amounts of damage, and there is nothing that HISUIAN Typhlosion can actually do to you. If you do get burnt, yes, your attack is cut in half, but with as absurd damage as you're doing normally, the burn doesn't matter too horribly much. I would say this is the second, or potentially third, tied for second, best counter. For the best one, I would say Ursaluna, by a clear mile. Guts, Belly Drum, High Horsepower, Earthquake, and if you want to throw on there just for some extra Earthquake ground type damage, you go with Headlong Rush. Really, you just need Earthquake. You can also opt for one of those moves to have Facade in play, even if it's a ability purges. You can still use Facade to not have your attack drop by burn on your ground type moves, because Guts will be disabled for about 2 turns. This thing is the highest single hit damage of anything you can throw. Even with Rain applied, this thing still hits harder when burnt, when with Belly Drum, and Earthquake than Azumarill in Rain. It would require something like Helping Hand in Rain for Azumarill to be as powerful. Only thing it needs to worry about is the fact that if a fire type move is coming at its way that does a lot of damage to it, and Solar Beam is especially lethal, but if Rain is up, which you should be having Rain put up anyway, there's really nothing to worry about. It can chunk anything, unless Focus Blast is in play. Now is what I would say is probably the second best option, tied with the Azumarill, is Manafi. This thing with Tail Glow is insane. Surf, give it special water moves. It is nightmare-inducing. Modest nature. It's terrifying. It is 2 Tail Glows, you're already at +6, and you're blasting away at this thing. Even if it decides to go for something like Calm Mind, you're still outpowering that. Similar vein is actually Crawdaunt. The reason why we want adaptability on this with an Adamant Nature, 252 special physical, Adamant Nature, 252 physical attacking EVs, is because adaptability doubles the power of your same attack bonus. Is because adaptability doubles your same attack bonus rather than a 50% boost. So, kind of insane. It also gets Swords Dance, Razor Shell, water type physical move that will has a 50% chance of dropping physical defense, Waterfall, and Crab Hammer. They're fairly solid moves. It also, as a dark type, is able to resist both fire and ghost. so it has to rely on its covered moves. Now, of course, if it has Solar Beam, you're getting deleted anyway, so that's not really a good state of affairs. One possible thing to consider is actually Ogre Pond Water with the Wellspring Mask. Because it gets Swords Dance, it gets Stomping Tantrum, and Ivy Cudgel is actually Water type when equipped with this mask. It doesn't really help with an ability, as it can still be burnt, and that does cripple its physical attack stat to a degree, but it is something fun if you want to use it. Kyogre is a fairly powerful sweeper of sorts. It gets Calm Mind, but it is very setup dependent, and its setup is very slow. The other thing is, if the Typhlosion does use Sunny Day, it overrides Drizzle. Drizzle will go before it, then after it'll use a Sunny Day, and then you have to manually reset the rain. So, it's bulky, it can take hits very well, but you may want to look elsewhere unless you have some means of basically forcing it to get set up. Things like maybe you can use Heart Swap with, say, a Manafi to get it boosted up to +6, and then have it blasting away with things like Origin Pulse. A bit of a janky off-brand thing is actually the Guts using Hariyama. It also gets Belly Drum, it benefits from getting burnt with Blaze, gets Drain Punch, so pretty strong, pretty good, but if it does get hit by Extrasensory, which yes, this thing does get, you're kind of deleted. You could also alternatively go for Thick Fat if you want to, say, resist any Fire-type moves. Houndoom is actually a bit of a janky tech support Pokemon because it gets Snarl, it is immune to fire, resists Solar Beam, and Infernal Parade, meaning it only would be afraid of either Earthquake or Focus Blast. So, could be fun, teach it Snarl, debuffs a special attack, but Walking Wake is kind of a throwaway thing. I don't really recommend using it, but if you don't have anything else, it could be some good filler. It's a good special attacker. If it sets up Sun, Hydro Steam, and its special attack will be boosted if you spec into special attack. Not great, but not terrible. It's decent filler. If we're going to go for any supportive options, Toxapex is one of the bulkiest and best. Even if it's using Earthquake or Extrasensory, unless it's massively boosting up its special attack with Calm Minds, you can shrug off just about everything, and Acid Spray will cripple the HISUIAN Typhlosion's special defense in any way, shape, and form, letting the allies absolutely destroy it. Polytoad is not quite the same vein, but it has, of course, Helping Hand, Weather Ball, which Weather Ball Rain is absurdly powerful, is 100 base power before same attack bonus, and before the rain damage comes into play, of course being a water-type move. Helping Hand, great to have. You're going to want to give it Rain Dance as a move, so that way if the Typhlosion does set up Sun manually, you can reset it back into Rain. And it can't do much else, but it's there to support your allies. Grimmsnarl is a bit of a janky one. It does get Spirit Break, but Spirit Break is of course resisted because, yes, it is a fire type here, but it's good because of Light Screen setup and also Misty Terrain. Misty Terrain, pivotal for stopping any of those burns. While, yes, something like Ursaluna and Hariyama can benefit from being burnt, ideally you do not want to get things like Azumarill burnt. So that's something to consider. It also can get Fake Tears, though when the shield goes up, this kind of is completely irrelevant because the shield blocks Fake Tears from being used. Similar but different is actually Umbreon. It gets Screech, Fake Tears, and Snarl, so it can kind of do the jobs of Grimmsnarl and Houndoom compressed into one with absurd special defense and absurd HP, letting it chunk just about everything. The closest thing it has to worry about is heavy Calm Mind setup Focus Blasting, which, again, with Snarl, that helps keep its special attack down. Another option for use is Pelipper, though I would say only use this if it is packing Solar Beam, specifically because it chunks a Solar Beam far better than Polytoad can, and you can set up Rain with things like Rain Dance and still do many of the same things with things like Helping Hand, Weather Ball Rain. Not bad, but not great. And those are your options. Personally, I'm mostly partial to the Manafi. It combines the great damage with the quick and easy setup. Ursaluna is by far the highest power, however, with the potential Solar Beam, until you know if Solar Beam is there or not, it is a big risk, and if it goes for Sunny Day Solar Beam, you're gone. But if you can scout the Solar Beam is not present, or you can somehow get Rain Up before Solar Beam activates, you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, those are your best ones. If I were to make any tier lists of these things, I would say Manafi, Ursaluna, and Azumarill are your S tiers. Your A tiers would be the Crawdaunt, the Kyogre, and the Ogre Pond Water. And then your, honestly, D tiers, because they're not really that great, would be the Hariyama, Houndoom, and Walking Wake. A solid B tier, I would say, even though it is not on this list up here, is actually a Garchomp. It is resistant to fire, it is not weak to grass, and it's overall quite bulky, and it does get Swords Dance Earthquake, so that is a potential option to use. But I would say it is significantly less powerful than Azumarill or Ursaluna's potential, as well as even Manafi. So, mileage may vary, but if you do have a Garchomp built, it will be very good for this, as Garchomp is very fast and able to hit very hard. Once again, if you guys haven't done so already, please do not forget to leave a like, subscribe for more, comment below what you're planning on using, and I will see you tomorrow, or tonight actually, because I'm actually recording this, re-recording it tonight before the thing goes up. It's actually 10 minutes to midnight right now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much, and we are going to be doing this live on stream tomorrow for the rest of the hosting of this.